welcome back to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Swatt. My guest this segment is Jennifer Fearing, who's the California Senior State Director of the Humane Society of the United States. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me back.
I know you've got a very full legislative agenda dealing with animal cruelty and such, and I guess there's one bill that has, caught the imagination of much of the public dealing with shark fins. As you know, shark fin soup is a delicacy in various Asian populations going back, centuries, I suppose.
Yeah, you know, shark fin soup, for your viewers who don't know, it is a delicacy. And what's troubling, though, about this delicacy is up to 73 million sharks per year are taken. And they're not taken in a way that's sustainable, but they're also taken in ways that are very brutal and cruel. The notion of shark finning is where an animal is pulled up on, the shark is pulled up out of the sea onto the boat, its fins are sliced off, and the still living and breathing animal is cast back into the ocean. They either drown, they're eaten by others, but in no way, shape, or form is this an appropriate or reasonable way to take these fins. And they do it because these fins are so valuable, up to 250 times the value of the rest of the shark, these fins, that it's just simply not in the economic interest of the fishermen to bring the rest of the animal back to port. So what this has caused is massive exploitation. It causes decimation of the ocean's ecosystems because these are very sensitive systems that really rely on these top predators to sort of regulate the rest of the ocean. So it puts other fisheries out of balance and in depletion as well. And it's not sustainable, and certainly not sustainable for something where there are abundant alternatives. If you want to honor your elders with a bowl of soup, there are myriad ways of doing it. So we're arm in arm with folks like the Monterey Bay Aquarium and the Asian Pacific American Ocean Harmony Alliance and dozens of other conservation organizations nationally and here in the state, working really hard to try to protect sharks like they have in Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, and several Pacific nations.
So this legislation would ban finning?
Well, it's already illegal to fin sharks in California and U.S. waters. But what's not touched by any federal legislation or state legislation is the import of fins. The vast majority of the fins consumed here in California are processed and dried in Hong Kong and China, and then shipped into San Francisco, LA and San Diego, and consumed here. What we're trying to get at is that demand side. We've got to stop there being any sort of demand and value for those fins in order to keep these sharks alive and swimming in the ocean.
Okay, we might want to say that that bill is through the Assembly, is now pending in the Senate.
Correct.
And I want to segue to another issue that you're involved with. A couple of years ago, you were here and you talked about your ballot measure that would, I guess, change the way egg-laying hens were caged, and that was very successful at the polls. Mm-hmm. Now you are coming together with your adversary at the time, the U.S. egg producers, to come up with a federal solution.
That's right. That's right. It's another example of where California goes, so go the nation. And we at the Humane Society of the United States were very clear during that campaign that what we were seeking was an end nationally to what the so-called battery cage, small cramped cages that keep these chickens in less space than a letter-sized sheet of paper throughout their entire lives. And with the passage of Prop 2, almost 2/3 of Californians got more yes votes than any other initiative in California history. We have used that. About 10%, less than 10% actually, of the nation's laying hens are here in the state. But that change, given the size of our market, we've been able to leverage those 19 million hens to come to an agreement with the United Egg Producers to pursue jointly federal legislation that will get 280 million hens, significantly more space. We will be having labeling on cartons to indicate the specific housing animals we're in. We will bring an end to the forced molting, which is starvation for these animals, to help jackknife their egg production. A number of really serious animal welfare concerns that we've been invested in. We're now arm in arm, sort of going to the Congress and saying we need to make this change and up the game.
Great. Well, we always have that change. We already have that change in California. We'll obviously watch the progress of this federal effort. Jennifer Fearing, thanks for coming by and talking about these important issues.
Thank you, Steve.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Comcast Newsmakers. We'll see you next time.